Shalom, 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 Shabbat shalom. Anybody that's on the stream, join me in the chat by saluting and put a 7 in the chat if I'm coming in clear. Let me know if I'm coming in there. Smiley Judah in the house. Shalom, right? Hopefully you're well, man. Shabbat shalom. Hit a 7 in the chat for me, good brother, if I'm coming in okay. Satan is acting a damn fool today, boy. I'll tell you that. He's messing around. All right, Elkanah, shalom to you and the family. Brother Ron, all right. Good. We coming in. Shalom, shalom. Boy, you talk about patient endurance. These are the type of trials that we use as examples leading up to our deliverance, man. Because I don't know what the heck was going on. All right, Ashar. Shalom, Mike. Kohaf, shalom to you, good brother. All right. Man. All right, good. I guess others are gonna have to wait for that new notification to go out, man. Whatever we're gonna talk about today, Satan did not want it to come out. Keep that in mind, because he was fighting tooth and nail, man. Messing with my internet, then it wouldn't connect my mic, wouldn't connect the camera with the stream. All kind of madness is going on. One way or the other, man. The Lord said, "Nope, keep going." That's coming out today. Give me 1 second, y'all. Let me make sure I got everything else lined up. All right. Looks like we okay so far, man. All praise to the Most High while you're outside, man. Stay down, stay diligent. Don't let Satan get in the way, man, because he's always going to be trying to make us stumble. Can't let that go down. All right, now, more. Good to see y'all on. Good. All right, we're making some moves. I guess the rest of the brothers and sisters that's going to be joining in, they'll be catching up on the back end, or maybe they got frustrated and said, hey, you know what? I don't know what's going on. IQ and DSTM ain't going on today. I'm moving on. That could be going down too, man. Maybe they'll double back and catch another replay. I'm not sure. But either way, the show must go on, as they say, man. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, man. Happy and blessed Shabbat to everybody that's online, tuning in with us. All praises, man. All praises. Yeah, we got the IQ channel back, so slowly but surely that one's gonna have to kind of get over the hump and get back on the algorithm pages. But yeah, the water co-house, man. All praise to the Most High, man. Glad you got some enlightenment from it and some edification on it. For the brothers and sisters that did not know or was unaware, I was live and last night, MOTC and BOW celebrated our new moon last night together. So our class, or the class that I taught, is on their channel. All right. So if you want to catch that one, go catch the brothers out, man. Believers of the way, and subscribe to their channel if you haven't already, and support them brothers and them doing their good works. But yeah, all praises, bro. Looks like we doing okay. All right, man. Hopefully everybody's doing well, man, and had a good Sabbath and a new moon as we're closing out this Shabbat this evening. Got a lot to talk about as usual today. Hopefully y'all are ready and ready to roll. Like I said before, whatever was going on with this technical stuff, man, whatever's going on with AI, who knows what's going on within this beast system, man, that we got to utilize to broadcast to each other. They didn't want this information to come out today, but you know how it goes. The Most High said his word must go forth and it will stand. So that's how we rolling over here. All right. Um, let's go ahead and get started, man. We've already had to go through enough just to get things cracking. So let's go ahead and go. Shalom, Uziel. Shalom to you, Malachi, man. Hopefully you brothers are well, man. And y'all had a good Sabbath today, or enjoying your Shabbat. Because I know for us here, some of y'all might be winding down in your respective areas. Let's see here. Make sure my sharing is going down. Yeah, there we go. All right, so as usual, um, because of the time and shoot, I'm supposed to start at 4. It's already 4:30, man. So half hour then went by. It's looking like my internet, for some odd reason, is having a little interruptions, man. So if I'm coming in and out, or there's some sort of technical issues going on, man, let me know. I'll try to see if I can do any adjustments, but the internet is what it is. I'm not sure why it's having any lagging issues, but if I'm coming in clear, everything's going down. Let me know. Give me 1 more 7 in the chat. Let me know whether or not the stream is lagging, or if there's any issues with the connection. On my end, I see. Okay, now it just went back. It's okay now. So I don't know. I know Aladai, you said you was having some freezing coming in and out. Is it still going on now? It should be solid now. Let me know. All right, a couple of y'all saying I'm coming in clear. All right, Aladai, that might be your internet now, because I'm coming in clear now. But I do see when my internet gets to lagging a little bit. But either way, we're good to go. All right, so let's open up. Matter of fact, let me double check my my stream too on my phone before we get started. Let me just make. I'm trying to see. I don't even notice I got it. Hold on. I'm getting messages. Yeah, Aladad, I think that might be your computer, right? Because or your connection, because I know you're saying you can't see or hear me, but everybody else is seeming to be all right. So I'm not exactly sure what's happening on your end, but I'm checking right now on my end. It looks to be fine. All right, so let's get started then. Let's get started, man. Enough with the madness, enough with the confusion. Um, we're gonna get right to the business at hand, man, and let's talk about what's happening in this earth. Slow Biden goes out to the G7 meeting amongst the world leaders, so they can have their conferences in regards to the ongoing affairs with the wars. And he made a declaration that he was going to be sending out F-16s, and gave the okay for not only America but the other nations to go ahead and send F-16 fighter jets over there to Ukraine. Now, if you and I all remember, and I actually did the short that had the video clip of Slow Biden talking about, um, let's get this clear, the idea of us sending planes, planes and tanks and ammunition and all that to the Ukraine. That's called World War III. Excuse me. So he said that last year. So far, we've seen the tanks go by. Now we're seeing the planes going in. We've already seen the heightening of the weapons that's going on, the missile defense systems that was sent over there. They've been sending over there all different type of rockets and whatnot. Ammunition is going on over there. They have U.S. troops going on over there. So at what point in time is Esau and the rest of the mainstream or lamestream Mockingbird media just going to come out and say America is actively involved in World War III, along with NATO, Russia, and the Ukraine? They just have to just come out and be clear about it. But see, they won't do that because you got a damn wicked, lying, hypocritical, old geezer in the office who's corrupt as all outdoors, leading the charge. Okay, look at it. Biden tells the G7 allies the U.S. will support joint F-16 training efforts for the Ukrainians. Now, mind you, notice where this meeting was at. This is in Hiroshima, in Japan, same place that he bombed. Matter of fact, let's look at that in the scriptures. Let's look at that in the scriptures. Revelation 13, and we'll start at verse. We can start at 1. Okay. So it says, and I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and his horns were 10 crowns, and upon his heads the names of blasphemy. So here we're seeing a beast coming up out of the sea. The sea is considered the nations. That's in Revelation 17. Let's look at that real quick, just so that we can get that. Matter of fact, let me open up one more because we're going to bounce back and forth. Revelation 17. I believe it is. I think it's 16. No. Here we go. Revelation 17 and 15, it says, and he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the horse sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. So coming out of the multitudes of nations and tongues is this beast. Okay. Now this beast was the Roman Empire and its extensionary heads of leadership. Okay. Rome is the 4th beast that's being mentioned of in Daniel chapter 7. Rome now is also the beast that's being described under the auspices of the so-called white man. He is this the beast and his system. Okay, the 7 heads are his 7 heads of rulership throughout history. The 7 crowned kingdoms in which the so-called white man established his rule on the earth. It started with the Greeks, then it went to Rome, then it went to Spain, to France, Germany, Russia, Great Britain. And then out of Great Britain, the scripture says in Daniel 7, a little horn came out of Great Britain. That little horn is America. So these 7 heads and the 10 horns represent the EU, NATO, or the European Economic Community. You know, the so-called white man has so many different cloak and dagger type names for organizations that represent his power structure. But when we're talking about the 10 horns, you're talking about the European Economic Community, the 10 common markets. We talked about it before, I believe last week when I brought out the 10 configurations of the EU, the 10 PowerPoints that the EU stands on. Those are the 10. That's how he establishes his crowns of rulership. And on the name of it, and on the heads' names were names of blasphemy. So of course you're going to have fornication, adultery. You're going to have sodomy. You're going to have all different manners of religion and philosophy, speaking against everything that's righteous. That's everything that he stands for. Everything in wickedness, man. God complex, you name it. He stands in blasphemy against the Most High and against his scriptures and his people. Verse 2, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear. So the leopard is representing the strength, is representing the diversity, because the leopard can survive in different climates. You also know that the leopard is one of the more powerful lions. I think it's ranked. Don't quote me on it. I'll come back and do a lesson about Daniel 7, but I want to say it's in like the top 3 of the big cats of the earth. Okay, and they can survive in different climates. You'll see a leopard dive into the water. I've seen videos of the leopards dive into waters and take down a caiman, which is like the the little alligators, jump in there, take them down, and pull them up out of there. When you see lions and they having their issues, chasing antelopes and wildebeest into the water, they stop and they say, "No, no, I'm cool." They don't mess around. I've seen leopards jump in the water to take down a damn caiman. So the leopard has a lot of diversity. They're climbing up into trees. They're attacking from all different areas. The so-called white man is like that when it comes down to his military might and his taking down the kingdom, starting off with Alexander the Greek, or the freak. At a young age, he went in and subdued all kingdoms. He was in his early 20s. Ran through with military might and strategic areas, conquered everything from Asia all the way into Africa, up into the Asia Minor, dealing with Turkey and Syria and all of those nations. The so-called Middle East, he went through and stomped it all out with the feet of a bear, meaning he had the power. He left his footprint. He left his mark. So he had the power, the strength, and the intimidation that a bear brings. He had the diversity, the speed, the tenacity, the hunting skills of a leopard, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. So he speaks great words against the Most High. He says that he is the Most High. He says that there is no God. He says that any depictions that you see of him, holy figures, it's him. He stands with the mouth of a lion and speaking great boldness. Later on in this chapter, it says, who's able to make war with him? No nations is trying to come up against him. The only ones that will is his own people. This is why the biggest threat to America is Russia. People may say China, but guess what? China can't do nothing without Russia. That's why they're rubbing elbows with China, because if China had the ability to take America down one-on-one, they would have did it. They're not doing that. China is still over here buying up real estate, buying up the debt bonds for America. They're still having imports of their goods made over there. They're still being pimped out by the government over here by creating all different types of technology and utilizing their people as stool pigeons and experimental social experiments to see how things will work as far as social control, as far as population control. They're doing all those things at the behest of the so-called white man. China can't do it on its own. So it's going to take another white nation, so-called white nation, to take them down. Otherwise, he's going to be continually speaking as the mouth of a lion. You notice everything that's going on crisis-wise in the earth, man. Slow Biden laughs it off and says, we'll be fine. Nothing's going on here. All the corruption that's going on with him and his household, all the corruption that's going on with the economy, everything that's going on within the wars, everything that's going on with the health scare. Every time he pops up, it's like it's nothing. He stands bold as a lion and says, can't nobody stop me. Nothing's going to happen. While everything else is speaking contrary. Then it says, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. We've talked about this before. The dragon is Satan, according to Revelation chapter 12 and verse 9. And he gave him his power, his seat, and great authority. So the great authority and the power is being driven by Satan. This is why that acronym USA is known as under Satan's authority, is because it is. Satan is the one who empowered the so-called white man. He's the one who decided and said he will bow down and accept the power that's given to him to worship him. Look at this. Luke chapter 4, verse 5. And the devil came, and this is after Christ came off of his fast and was tempted of Satan. Luke 4 and 5. And the devil, taking him up into a high mountain, showed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time. In a moment of time, he's seen all of the kingdoms go before him. So he saw Greece. He saw Rome. He saw America. He saw Russia, Germany, Spain, France. He's seen all of these particular kingdoms rise up. He's seen the Huns. He's seen all of the kingdoms that have been risen up. All in a moment of time, he's seeing history playing out before him. And guess who's constantly reigning supreme? The so-called white man, with the exception of the 1,000-year period of the Dark Ages, in which black nobility rose up, and the Roman Empire was wounded, and he was taken down, and he had to get off the scene for a little season, as the scriptures say in Revelation 20, I believe. Other than that, this guy's been ruling for over 2,000 years, well over 2,000 years. You're talking about damn near 2,500 years. He's had a long reign running the show. Christ seen this all. Verse 6, and the devil said unto him, all this power will I give thee, and the glory of them, for that is delivered unto me, and to whomsoever I will give it. So Satan, let it be known, he has the power and the glory to deliver these kingdoms. Why? Because the earth's been given into the hand of the wicked. He can empower it with whomever he said. He can give it to whoever he wants. But what was the key? Verse 7, if thou therefore wilt worship me, all shall be thine. All he had to do is submit himself unto Satan, bow down to Satan, continue to worship in all realms of wickedness. Follow after deceptive ways, be an adversary to truth. Get involved in all manners of unrighteousness. Do that and you can have the world. What did Christ say? And Yahweh answered and said unto him, get thee behind me, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship Yahweh thy power, and him only shalt thou serve. So clearly, Yahweh turned that down. But who asked if the deal was still on the table? The so-called white man. He pops up. Is the deal still on the table, Satan? I'll do it. What do I need to do? What do I need to sacrifice? I need to involve myself in pedophilia, child sacrifice, cannibalism. I need to, drink blood. I need to worship idols. I need to go out and deceive the nations. I have to be willing to have the pride and the arrogancy to say that I am God. I'll do it. I got to go out and lie and deceive the nations? I'll do it. Just give me the power. And the so-called white man from the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Going back to Revelation 13:2, right? So now dropping down to verse 13, and this is the point that I was making. Part of the power of the beast is for what? It says, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. The anniversary, I believe it was, I don't know if it was an anniversary, which is why they had the G7 meeting, or it was just the fact that they had the meeting in Hiroshima, but they was acknowledging the fact that Hiroshima, Nagasaki, and the detonated nukes, those hydrogen nuclear bombs that America hit Japan with, was acknowledged during that time when they met earlier this week. The great wonders that the so-called white man did is he let that fire come down from heaven. That was them bombs. When he let down that Hiroshima bomb, Nagasaki, that's it. Look, even Russia has a bomb called a Satan II bomb. What are the type of missiles that America has that's locked into these drones right now? Hellfire missiles. Hopefully my computer don't trip. Let's look. See? Hellfire missiles is what he uses. Air-to-ground missiles. You see him here? You got the Satan II missiles that he utilizes. These are the wonders that he's using, let alone the technology. The great wonders that he's utilizing right now. You see what's going on with the deep fakes, with the voiceover technology. You're seeing it with the what do you call it with the well, they even just, changing pictures up and putting people's faces on other people and all of that in pictures. Somebody help me out. I'm drawing a blank. What do they call that with the what do they call that stuff? Whatever. I can't remember. But hopefully y'all know what I'm talking about, man. When they get Photoshop. Good Lord. Come on, IQ. Photoshop, man. They can distort pictures, man. Nowadays, you got all kind of different technology, man. Great wonders where people are, traveling over here and to Thailand and everything. Where do you think Thailand even got the knowledge and the technology to even figure out about how to do these transitional surgeries? America. They either going to America or they're going to Thailand and get these transitional surgeries to be new Transformers. You know, Autobot or Decepticon, whichever one they choose, I guess. Those are great wonders for people to come over here. I can be a female now and as a man talking. The people consider those great wonders. You know, the technology, the medicines, everything else, everything they think can be fulfilled here in America. This is part of the beast system. So they're over there in Hiroshima right now talking about what's going on with the war. And of course, Slow Biden comes out hypocritically and says, hey, I know I said before we're not going to send jets and planes over there, but we're doing it now. I wonder why. I wonder why. Sounds like things are getting more desperate in order for Ukraine not to lose. And it seems as though the U.S. wants to continually perpetuate and provoke this war to continue on. Well, he's got to do that. He's got no choice. I mean, that's how the Most High laid it out. There's a time for peace, time for war. We know that the third war is supposed to be, is evident that it's going to happen according to the scriptures. They're in too deep right now. You got everybody from the Pope trying to talk peace. Zelensky's riding around. He just met with the Arabs with Saudi Arabia, talking to them, begging them to do something to help them. I mean, if you see some of these headlines, they trying to act like Ukraine has got things in control. They just mounted their spring offensive. Oh, the Russians are retreating. They're taking back particular regions. If that's the case, well, why are you running around asking for more help, more weapons? The way they're making it sound is all under control. And you're winning. Clearly it's not. So Slow Biden went back on his word, the hypocrite that he is, the devil that he is, obviously. And here you go. So now he's authorizing F-16 jets to be sent to Ukraine so that they can now start training them up so they can start learning how to drop bombs over there. And that's only going to make things escalate with Russia. Here he goes. U.S. signals willingness to greenlight the export of F-16 jets to Ukraine. You see this little meme over here? That's what I was talking about before. The idea that we're going to send in tanks to Ukraine, that's called World War III. That wasn't a direct quote, but, for the sake of a meme, they kind of shortened it up. But y'all seen it. I did the short on it. If you ain't seen it, go to the Messengers of the Covenant shorts part of our channel, and you'll see it on there. The whole quote of him talking about that, let's be clear, if the idea of us doing this and sending this type of weaponry over there and American troops over there, that's World War III. Let's not kid ourselves. You can't kid a kidder. Whatever that means for him. But he said it, and now here you go. The old Arabian proverb says, if the camel once gets his noose in the net, his body will soon follow. This certainly applies to the way the U.S. and its Western partners have gone about providing Ukraine with heavier and more advanced weaponry. The debate over Western jets for Ukraine is now taking the route that the prior move to send tanks did. At first, leaders say no, and then we're mulling it, and this follows soon with, quote, training. So you notice how everything keeps changing up. It's at first they said, no, we're not going to do it. Next thing you know, they're saying, okay, we'll mull it over. Now they're saying, let's start training everything. Today, I'm announcing that the United States will be sending Abrams tanks to Ukraine. So that's the tanks. Now he just said in early May, last week, that the planes are now going over there. So things are only escalating. Things are only going to get worse. Leave it to America. They're definitely provoking this. It's going down. Here he goes right here. Here's your boy. Whoa. Slow down. Hold on. You know I love to get this damn goofball, man. This dude is a straight clown, man. He can't walk downstairs. He can't walk upstairs without falling all over the place and stumbling and fumbling, man. But this dude is the so-called leader of the free world, man. This dude's got the key. Oops. My bad. This guy's got the keys to the nukes, the codes to the nukes, man. This dude's got the economy right now on the brink of destruction. I mean, right now they're talking about 10 more days until they got to figure out how much money is left in the so-called bank, the debted Bank of America, to carry them over to pay their bills off for the future. Economy's in shambles, and here he goes. You're talking about ready to destroy this whole country, which is a good thing. I mean, I guess he is the right person for the job, man. He must be the right person for the job because he can't do nothing right. He can't do nothing right. He's going to get everybody. So, you know, I got to sting him all the time. Let's look at this real quick. Slow Biden is a damn fool, man. I can't believe this guy. He falling up the stairs, down the stairs, man. Good thing the little gook. I mean, let me be clear. Let me be nice. Good thing the little Moabite man was there to catch him. He told me, oh. Slow Biden at his finest. Sirach 10, 1 and verse 2. It says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. Well, clearly, Slow Biden is not a prudent man, and he's not wise. Because what's going on with the government of America? Government of America is deep in debt, damn near about to default on all their debts. Inflation is out of control. Food prices is up. Farmers are getting ready to shut down their wheat harvest because it's the droughts and the condition that's happening in the earth. America's been getting hit with plague after plague, with storm and tempest and destruction from the most high spirits of weather on the regular. You've got drag queens now representing the highest forms of military and recruitment. Confusion of gender. I mean, is that well ordered? That's how you know America is finished. That's why they can't wait they're trying to just let this thing play out. Hopefully you can get to the end. But he done already said, I'm coming back 2024 better than ever. I feel good. People talking about my health. They don't know what they're talking about. And he's stumbling downstairs. Cognitively, he's out of it. His equilibrium is off. His brain is all, shut down. I mean, who knows what's going on with this guy? The government of a prudent man is well ordered. Well, clearly, this government is not well ordered and is subject to be infiltrated and destroyed. I hope he does get elected again in 2024. It's only going to fast track this place really to getting destroyed. That's really going to mean the elected Israel is bound to be sealed. Yahweh Shai is going to, and the angels bust through this clouds, man, and start putting the real fire down and taking these nations out and leaving America a smoking heap. And pray to the Most High, man, that we get delivered in our chambers and we get up out of here and be hidden for a little season, as the scripture in Isaiah says, and get up out of here. Then there's Isaiah 26, verse 2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. Well, I don't know if y'all heard about it, but I don't think I included it in this DSTM, but the Abrams report, where they've had governmental councils talking about the corruption that's been going on with the FBI, hiding information, intimidating whistleblowers, telling them what they can and can't say, telling people leave stuff alone as it pertains to the Clintons, to the Bidens, to Obama. And there's no penalties for none of the stuff that they've been saying. Everything that's been coming out, you're hearing about all the corruption, man. Slow Biden get caught with confidential records. They do nothing. His son get caught, smoking crack, messing with hoes, been getting underhanded deals. Y'all seen the articles, man. The whole family is profiteering off of these backdoor deals that his son was doing in order to get political influence with China and with the Ukraine, nothing happens. All of the, disinformation campaigns talking about Russia and Trump and, everything else, and putting out, letting the World Health Organization control the mouths of everybody who's supposed to have freedom and being on these platforms to speak about issues that's going on in the world. And if you don't align with what they're saying, well, guess what? We'll go back 200 of your DSTM episodes and find out you said something that goes against what we say is the standard, and we're going to suspend your channel. Well, that's what happened to me continuously. So this is what they're doing. But it only goes to show you, man, as the ruler, let's get that one. The ruler of the people, ruler of the city of soldiers, servants. Yeah, this is it right here. Proverbs 29:12. If a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked. It say some, not a few. It said everybody in there is wicked. So we know Slow Biden is a liar. We just gave one example just now when he first said he's not sending no planes and tanks and all that other stuff over there. Next, he's doing it. So he lied. Among all other things, if a ruler hearken to lies, all the servants are wicked. So are we surprised that the FBI is caught up? If y'all want to know what I'm talking about, look into this. The Durham report. This is it right here. See, they keep talking about didn't deliver the punch some hope for. They had a couple of FBI whistleblowers, man, that came out and said that they were silenced. They went through hell, man. The damn FBI was harassing them and tracking down their family and doing all kind of stuff, telling them to shut up. But now they keep coming to, oh, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. So if y'all want to check it out, man, look at the Durham report, and you'll see some of the stuff in the council, the special counsel that they had in regards to these whistleblowers coming out, speaking about how the FBI was doing a whole lot of collusion, cover-ups, and looking out for the Clintons and the Bidens when it came down to corruption and lies. But that can come out and nothing happens. So what chance in hell do we think so-called Blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics are you going to get, or we're going to get any type of justice or any type of retribution here in this country right now? If they won't prosecute any of their wicked leaders, man, you think that they're going to do it on behalf of us? You think somebody's going to pop up and say, yeah, you know what? We need to do retribution and give reparations, man, for them so-called Blacks. They've been doing bad over there, They have already set themselves up for success and us for failure. There's no way you're going to get retribution. I mean, how can you get justice on stolen land, man? When are they going to get that back? Isaiah 10:1-2. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. They're writing unrighteous decrees. All kind of corruption, wickedness, lies, deception, breaking of their own laws is being found, and they don't do anything. They don't live under the same standards of rules. They don't follow them. That's Zechariah too. I don't know why this created a whole nother thing, but okay, whatever. I don't know how this thing created two open internets, browsers, but whatever. Zechariah 11:5 says, whose possessors slay them hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them say, blessed be Yahweh, for I am rich and their own shepherds pity them not. This is the advantage. This is white privilege that they utilize, man. When it comes down to justice, they hold themselves not guilty. So, y'all can look up the Durham report, find out what was going on with that, and see how Slow Biden and his FBI is out there taking full advantage of their privilege going on. So getting back over here to this war, let's start zooming through this. Denmark, Portugal joined the fighter jet coalition. So this lets you know too, man, that America runs the shots, man. This is the great whore. Slow Biden gives the okay. Watch out, man. Watch out. I didn't mean to get you there. Hold on. See, U.S. signals willingness to green light export of F-16 jets to Ukraine. Who gives the okay? Who gives the green light? Who's controlling the earth? America. If America gives the green light, guess what? The nation's going to say, oh, okay. It's okay for us to do this now? Guess who joins in immediately? Denmark and Portugal. They joined the fighter jet coalition, but they could not do that unless the beast system of America says it's okay. Green light comes from America, the nations fall in line. That also lets you know how things are operating when it comes down to all the scriptures that we talked about in Revelation 18. I think it's Ezekiel 25 about the nations drinking of the wrath and the cup of fornication of the so-called white man. Revelation 14, 16, 18, 17. They're all in love with the whore, man, and they only going to do whatever the whore tells them to do. So Denmark and Portugal, they've joined in. Excuse me. And they're sending over their fighter jets too, and they're going to start training up the Ukrainians on how to utilize them and go further to war with Russia. Russia warns the West sending F-16s to the Ukraine carries enormous risks. So Russia's not happy with that. Russia's saying, listen, you're playing a dangerous game. If you're going to send these fighter jets over there to come attack us, it's going to be a problem. Now, they always say that, but they never turn up. We're going to see how far it takes to go ahead and push Russia to the brink of just saying, you know what, we've been patient. We've been strategically taking our targets. We haven't really went all in and just started letting off hell rain down from their rockets and bombs. But they're waiting. So they're warning the West, warning America, man, don't send them jets over here. Look at it. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky welcomed the U.S. decision in a tweet on Friday, saying it will, quote, greatly enhance our army in the sky. He added that he counted on discussing the practical implementation of this decision at the G7 summit at Hiroshima, Japan. We can see that the Western countries continue to stick to an escalation scenario, which carries enormous risk for them. Notice what the little Russian cat says. We can see that the Western countries continue to stick to an escalation scenario. So 1 minute you think Zelensky's running around talking about we want peace, we want the best for everything, but he's running around panhandling, getting money, getting weapons, politicking because he's losing. And then America says, all right, you know what, y'all? They over there, they are getting tapped up a little bit, man. We're gonna have to escalate this. I'm giving the okay for everybody to send them jets over there now with bombs. That's what you call proxy, man. That's why America's utilizing them to try to weaken and fight the battle for them, utilizing Ukraine so that they can try to act like their hands is clean. Only thing we did was try to help the poor and unfortunate, neo-Nazi armies of the Ukraine to help try to fight these big bad Russians. We're just trying to help the little guy. What's wrong with that? No, they're trying to help the little guy weaken their greatest opposition. So far, it ain't working. But we see America is trying to step up their game and escalate this even further. Remember, we talked about a few weeks back, man. Everything is happening in stages. Everything is happening in measure. So slowly but surely, we're seeing America changing its tune and how they want to deal with this war situation. First, it's no. Then it's we'll discuss it. Then it's, send it. We're training them up now. First, it's no planes and no tanks. Oh, we're not sending over drones. We're not doing it. Notice how all of that has changed now. So in measure, things are moving closer towards full-blown conflict. Okay. It continues to say, in any case, we will take it into account when making plans. We have all the necessary means to achieve our goals, he added. So that's this guy, Grushko. He's one of the military representatives and governmental representatives speaking on behalf of the Russians. So he's saying, hey, the West keeps escalating this thing. It's going to be it's carrying an enormous risk for them, but it's no problem. We've got everything it takes to achieve our goals. So we'll see about that. World War III fears in a chilling move. Russia stations 18 nuke bombers near NATO's nation borders. So Russia has countered and made a move. They set up 18 nuke bombers near NATO nation's border. That's a threat in itself. You know, NATO always says, man, if you threaten us or our borders, they can consider that an act of war, breaking of their peace treaties or whatnot with nations that are not involved in NATO. So Russia says, well, we're going to go move 18 nuke bombers right by your borders. Now what? So interesting enough, we're going to see if that provokes NATO to do something more risky. President Vladimir Putin has chillingly stationed 18 nuclear capable tactical bombers near the NATO border in a stark caution to the West. So they're capable of having nukes. Didn't say that they're armed. So we have to be careful with that. They're capable, 18 nuclear capable tactical bombers are getting set up near the NATO borders, but they haven't armed them yet. If they get armed, get ready. A haunting new satellite image exposes the extent of the display, revealing a variety of these nuclear jets readied at Olenya Air Base in Russia's Kola Peninsula, simply 130 miles from Finland and Norway. All right, so Russia's making their move. Now look at this. Very interesting. $3 billion accounting error means the Pentagon can send more weapons to Ukraine. Isn't that convenient? Isn't that convenient? Surprisingly enough, um, America switches its tune. They send out these F-16s now, and they're going to go train the Ukrainians. After they said they wouldn't do that, now they're going to train them up on this. Then all of a sudden they say, "Oh, guess what? We made an accounting error. We didn't even spend $3 billion on this war. Guess what we found, Ukraine? We just happened to dig out $3 billion out of thin air because we had a quote unquote accounting error. That means we can send you more." Do y'all believe this? Look at it. Proverbs 11:9 says, "A hypocrite with his mouth destroyeth his neighbor, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered." Well, if you just found $3 billion and you're struggling right now to figure out how you're going to raise your debt ceiling limit or increase the debt so you can pay your bills, why wouldn't you use that $3 billion to go towards your debt and say, you know what, we've already committed multi-billions of dollars to Ukraine. We've already committed multi-millions of dollars in weapons. We got to use this money to help get us out the hole over here. No, no, no. Remember, it said about a prudent man's government will be well ordered. That's again another example of how slow Biden's government is not well ordered. How do you make a quote unquote accounting error of $3 billion? So you're trying to tell me you had $3 billion that was unaccounted for? And just so happens that it was supposed to go towards the military spending for Ukraine? No, that means Ukraine is over there getting a double dollar signs whipped. And they're trying everything they can to covertly send them help. So they went back on their word, they're going to send them bombers over there. Now all of a sudden they managed to scrape up and find. This ain't like when you wash your clothes and you check your pockets, man, and you realize, oh, I had $5 in my pocket. Wow. Man, all praises. You take that money out, $20 you done found on the ground. $3 billion, man. All of a sudden they just happen to find it. And it was supposed to go towards their spending over there. Isn't that convenient? If you believe that, man, I've got 3 acres on Mars that I'm willing to sell you for cheap. Email me for further details. The Pentagon has, quote, estimated the value of the weapons that are sent to Ukraine by at least $3 billion, an accounting error that could be a boon for the war effort because it will allow the Defense Department to send more weapons now without asking Congress for more money. Isn't that special? $3 billion they just happen to find underneath the mattress, man, and just said, "Oh, we overestimated how much we spent. We're under budget. Well, how come that money just didn't go and get allocated to somewhere else?" You got people sleeping all over the place on concrete slabs all over America. You got people over here, man, starving. Their budgets now have been reduced because SNAP and EBT benefits now have been cut down. All the little extra benefits that they was given for the vid, that's now over with. People credit card bills are skyrocketing, man. They said it's like at an all-time high right now with credit card spending. And they say, well, no, we're putting that money towards war. Was there any surprise? Because if the Most High said that the white man is going to live by the sword, well, what's most important to him? Another characteristic of the so-called white man. Not the Arabs, not whoever else, they're trying to portray and say, well, oh, the Edomites got done away with. They don't exist anymore. You hear some of these little Christian apologists say that. Oh, Obadiah happened already. They've already been destroyed. Get out of here with this foolishness, man. It's getting ridiculous and played out. Oh, Esau's a white man. He's trying his best to hide himself, man. The scriptures say he's not going to be able to hide himself no more. It's revealed, man. So look, Genesis 27. Where's that scripture at? 40. The blessing of Esau. We started 38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Key point, by the sword he's going to live. That's why he's willing to go and send money over there to Ukraine that they just so-called happen to find from over budgeting. $3 billion. They'd rather send it over there. Meanwhile, you got tent cities all over this place. Look at Job. Tent cities all over the place. Dolphins all over the place, man. You got San Francisco looking third world, Portland looking like a third world, LA, third world, New York, Chicago, all over the place, man. And they can't allocate them funds to help some people? Job 24:7. They cause the naked to lodge without clothing, that they have no covering in the cold. They are wet with the showers of the mountains and embrace the rock for want of shelter. Embracing the rock for want of shelter means that people be sleeping on the floor, on the grounds. Homelessness. These are the things that's going to happen because of the reign of the wicked. They cause the naked to lodge without clothing, that they have no covering in the cold. Most of our people, a lot of our people in various areas, man, had a brutal winter this past winter. It says they are wet with the showers of the mountains, meaning they're out there in the cold, the rain, especially out here in California. We had the most rain we've had since probably 20 years this past winter. Much needed, but guess what? All the people, man, that either electively decided to live out there on these streets or circumstantially got to have to live out there in the streets, they got wet with the showers of the mountains and embraced the rock for want of shelter. Now you see why all these tent cities is all over the place. But America goes and finds $3 billion and they say put it towards the war. Why? Because he lives by the sword. He can't help himself. He's a warmonger. Look at this. Keep your eyes on this. 60,000 pounds of explosive ammonia nitrate is missing from a train in California. 60,000 pounds of ammonia nitrate used as a fertilizer, also in explosives. So when you're thinking about, this is where my brain goes. I'm not saying this is going to happen. Who knows? But here you got 60,000 pounds of ammonium nitrate that can be used to make explosives. Comes up missing from a rail train that was coming from Wyoming. It's supposed to land it come to California. Somehow 60,000 pounds of this fertilizer that can be transferred into explosives comes up missing. In the meanwhile, you've got an influx of quote unquote migrants coming over. They're talking about they're going to come over here. They're bringing the cartels. They're bringing violence, this, that, and the third. The perfect scenario for some sort of false flag to happen and something get blown up in America. To further either escalate the war or to initiate martial law. I mean, right now, we'll talk about it in a little bit. The elites are meeting. The Bilderberg Group and the rest of the elites. It's very funny that even the mainstream media now are acknowledging that there's an elite that control the world when 10, 15, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, that was a conspiracy theory. Now all of a sudden they had to come out. Well, hey, Thessalonians says that the son of perdition is going to have to be revealed. There's not going to be no more lies going on anymore. Things are going to be plain, as Rebecca told us, and told the right division to make it plain upon tables. So that's what's going on. But look at 60,000 pounds of explosive material is missing. Look, ammonium nitrate was the explosive in the massive bomb used in the Oklahoma City terror attack in 1995. It was also the substance that caused a deadly explosion in the warehouse in the port of Beirut, Lebanon in 2020. So this could be utilized in various different ways. Not saying that it will, but it's possible. Somebody gets their hands on this, somebody, quote unquote, and some false flag bombs go off in America to further lockdown. They have to push towards this economic agenda. How are they going to, create a big enough distraction, man, to take their people's minds off of the economy, the food, the money, everything else that's going on. They want to implement this CBDC with the central digital currency. They want to implement this digital ID system. How are they going to? The way they did it in the past, 9/11, that's how they got the Patriot Act, set up, where they was able to start doing full-blown surveillance and tracking and everything else because of that Patriot Act. That's how they pushed in new laws after that 9/11. And we all know that those things were very sketchy. I'll just leave it at that. In regards to who did it, why it happened. And the end results is, one thing for sure, there was no weapons of mass destruction over in Afghanistan, which was the whole reason for the invasion, according to George Bush. That came out as a lie. Anything happened to him? No. See, white man can just lie and make up stuff, man. Bomb and destroy countries and destroy economies, man. Take over, colonize, take over the poppy fields, man. Increase the heroin trade, make money, laundering money and everything else. And nothing happens. Hey, you can't go 5 miles over the damn speed limit before you get pulled over, beat upside the head, and maced in the face. So keep your eyes on this. Don't be surprised. Not saying it will, but don't be surprised if some bombs is getting made up, something goes off, and it leads back to this 60,000 pounds being missing. I'm sure you don't need all of it. So if a report comes out, oh yeah, the explosive ammonium nitrate was found, everything's fine. I don't mean that 10,000 they found all 60,000. They could have found 10,000 enough to make some bombs. This may never come up. Who knows? They could be utilizing it to go send this over to Ukraine and give them even more weapons. Who knows? But what we do know is the materials for bomb making is all of a sudden coming up missing. So we'll see where and if they find it. Okay. China and Russia are increasing their military collaboration. Japan foreign minister is warning. So China now is only acknowledging and showing their allegiances with Russia. No surprises there. That's why I said earlier, China can't do nothing without Russia. That's why there ain't no way that he's going to say he's got next. That's not happening at all. He can't make a move, man, without his wife, Zaddy, man, period. Okay. So they're lining up. Japan is a little paranoid about it. They made those address their concerns in this G7 meeting. I mean, and how cold is that? This is why I was saying, when Revelation says that the beast is going to speak like had the mouth of a lion. When you can go back to the same place that your people bombed 60, 70 years ago and obliterated many a family, many a people, utilizing the coldest form of a weapon known to man, a damn nuke, atomic bomb, hydrogen bomb, and then go back to the same place and then tell the Japanese how to proceed with military proceedings or whatnot. That's cold, man. Bomb the hell out of them. Historically, man, made them restart lives and all kind of stuff, man. And then you go back over there and act like nothing happened. I mean, how would you even invite them back into your home, man? If somebody burned down your house and they say, man, my bad, here, take a little money, man, rebuild your house. You're gonna be pissed. You're gonna take the money, but you're gonna be mad that all your family heirlooms is destroyed. Whatever else went down, man. You had to set you back for a little bit. Insurance comes over, they give you some money, you rebuild your house up, and I come over and say, "Come on, I'm coming to dinner." Open up the door. Are you opening the door? No. But that's the boldness that the white man can speak as a lion, man, and go over there and punk these other nations and let them know, man, I can bomb the hell out of you, and I'm still coming over there and eating your damn sushi. And if I stumble down the stairs, man, open up your arms, make sure you catch me. That's cold. Airstrikes shake Khartoum. Qatar embassy is attacked. More wars and rumors of wars. More wars and rumors of wars. So look at that. Over in Qatar in the Middle East, man, they're having bombs going off over there. Airstrikes and artillery exchanges shook the Sudanese capital Saturday, and armed men ransacked the Qatari embassy as the country's warning generals kept up their struggle for control. So they're still having bombs attacking over there. The Sudan is still having their issues in regards to the regime change that's happening over there. They're trying to do a whole coup, military coup over there. Khartoum residents told AFP that heavy fighting raged despite repeated international calls for a humanitarian truce. So there is no peace that's going on over there. Last time I reported on this, there was 72 hours. They were supposed to have a truce. They was already back bombing and killing each other within them 72 hours. No peace was happening. So we've got wars happening over in Sudan. There's still issues going on between Israel and Palestine, Iran. You still got rioting and issues and wars going on, civil wars going on over there in Haiti. There's still wars going on amongst the drug wars happening. Of course, we still got Russia and Ukraine. We got the rumors of wars between China and Taiwan, Japan and North Korea, America and everybody. So it's all going according to plan. Congo security forces fire tear gas as anti-government protests are continuing over in the Congo. There's uprisings going on. And we know how we measure this one. All we need to talk about is uprisings of the people, right? Second Ezra 9 tells us. Nine in verse, we'll read 1 down to 3, just straight through. We've read this one before, but y'all know. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. You know, it was earthquakes in New York this week. Minor on our scale. They was like 2 point something, 3 point something like that. But when New York is hitting earthquakes, Even for them, they probably felt that 2.0. For us, yeah, then we don't feel that. Earthquakes over there in New York. They just had another 7 point something over in the Pacific Ocean somewhere that made a minor tsunami. Had a little tsunami go on. Let me see. Let's see that. 7.7 magnitude earthquake causes a small tsunami in the South Pacific Islands. That was 2 days ago. New Zealand Islands are hit with a small tsunami caused by the 7.7 earthquake. Right? Because I didn't put these in today's PowerPoint. I didn't put it on in today's. So I made mention of them. Mild earthquake rattles just outside New York City, magnitude 2.2. I mean, when was the last time you heard about a damn earthquake happening in New York? See, these are the things that's going on right now. Uproars of the people. Congo's firing tear gas, anti-government protesters are happening. So they're having more problems even in Africa. Democratic Republic of Congo, security forces fired tear gas and fought running battles in the streets of the capital of Kinshasa, with anti-government protesters demonstrating on Saturday over alleged irregularities in voter registration. The protesters are also angry over the rising cost of living and prolonged insecurity in the east of the country, where armed militias and rebel groups have killed hundreds and displaced over 1 million. Notice what what they're talking about right there. So not only are they having issues with voter registration and issues with, didn't we just have all of that happen over here? See, America's got a little different way of doing it. They just use disinformation, the FBI to suppress and create fake news stories and everything else, win over the minds and the hearts of the people with fake news and lies, and then everybody calms down. But notice it still happened with a January 6th. The media might still got turned up. So don't think that the things that's happening over there in Africa, you say, oh man, Africa, man, shit, let that happen to Ham, man. They can have that. It's the same system that's happening over here, but just on a different level and different note. They're still trying to straighten out January 6th. It's 3 years later. 3 years later, they're still, prosecuting and tracking down people that was on film and acting up and having trials and arresting people and all of that. So the Congo is going through the same thing. Brazil had the same thing happen down there. So not only were they having tear gas and anti-government protests because of that, but here's the real thing. Protesters are angry over the rising cost of living and the prolonged insecurity in the east of the country, where armed militias and rebel groups have killed hundreds and displaced over 1 million. So it's damn near like Mad Max, Book of Eli, where people are struggling with the cost of living, and then you got armed militia groups that's over there threatening and killing. It's kill or be killed, survival of the fittest. Armed groups are coming together in order to survive and create, territories of rulership with militias, because the regular people can't survive. They can't do nothing. So what are we dealing with over here? Rising cost of living, insecurities about what's going on when there's 200 plus mass shootings a week. Government is out here being exposed for all type of corruption. Militia groups is being formed over here. Gun sales is at its highest rate, over the past few years ever. You had ammunition shortages over the past couple of years. People are all arming up. It's going to be like The Walking Dead, where you see, people all coming together to create their little coalition groups for survival. They're already doing that over there in the Congo, damn near. And you say, well, that's Africa, man. They they're primitive. They don't have it. What? This is the Democratic Republic of Congo. Well, are they? What does America push? Democracy. Who's the president right now? The Democrats. These are the policies that they create that ends up shutting down and destroying nations, colonizing different areas. I mean, just look around. All of the Democrat-ran cities are all damn shut down hellholes. Violence and crime is at its highest. The highest cost of living. Look, California, highest cost of living. New York, highest cost of living. Chicago, highest cost of living. Each one got high crime rates, all jacked up. You know, look, around a dozen protests were detained by security forces just after the start of the demonstration, which was called by for opposition leaders. So uproars and rising of the people, man, is happening throughout the earth, man. Don't think it can't and won't happen here, because it will. This is why we just look at what's going on in other places, because it's surely but surely it'll come here. And it's already happening, but just on smaller scales. The difference here in America is America has way more people armed and strapped to the teeth and ready to go to the ends of the earth to protect theirs, or to steal, rob, and kill. Second Ezra 15, we've talked about it till we're blue in the face in regards to sedition, friends fighting each other, neighbors turning on each other, lack of bread, all that is all going to be happening. It's just happening in other countries. Same way it's going to happen here. The earth is going to feel it. Let's go. Republicans walk out of the debt ceiling meeting talks and says the White House isn't being reasonable. So here they were supposed to be having this talk about their economy, trying to get the debt ceiling figured out. They said that they was going to hopefully have a deal struck by this weekend. And I still think, who knows? One side of me saying, I hope they don't. I want them to default. I need America to stumble and fall. But what does that look like for the rest of us small folks, man? Living check to check, trying to figure out how we're going to get by. It's going to cause some problems for sure. They already said the impact is going to hit the market. The stock market is going to crash. That's going to impact many of people's businesses, jobs, layoffs. The government workers, we already covered that. Said 8,000 of them will be getting laid off. Social Security checks ain't going to be getting cut. So many of the elderly and those that's on, disability or whatnot, they ain't going to get their money. So, it's going to be hell. Now, what I do think, they probably, America's too prideful, man. But then again, who knows? The Most High did say that I die pride after CD. He's not going to want to go out. I think best case scenario, that they might come to a last minute, midnight hour decision to say, raise the debt ceiling, but it's only going to be good until probably the end of the year. They'll figure out a budget, how to pay these bills and incur enough debt to make it through another 6 months, and then drag it out until the next presidential election in 2024. And hopefully they think they're going to have a new president that's going to come in and just acquiesce to a new digital system. But if they don't, and they do default, get ready, because all hell is going to break loose. Republicans, they just walked out the meeting yesterday. They were supposed to, slow Biden and McCarthy met earlier. They said they left. They said, man, pretty much didn't go down. They couldn't see eye to eye. Didn't happen. The one thing that they said, well, have your people talk to my people, man. We can't talk one-on-one, but you have your representative. We'll have our representative talk with each other, and maybe we can work something out there. They agreed to that. They said, oh, yeah, we're making progress. Well, the progress was they decided that they ain't going to talk to each other, just have their representatives talk. So now the representatives talk on Friday, and the Republicans walked out. High-stake talks on the debt ceiling came to a halt Friday. It is unclear if the negotiations will resume this weekend. Financial markets dipped in response to the news. So a little dip happened Friday the 19th. Today's the 20th. According to Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary, I believe that's her title. According to her, America would run out of money come June 1st. Or they won't have enough money to continually pay their debts come June 1st. Now, she might be blowing that up a little bit. They ain't like they got a zero balance, but they probably only have enough maybe to pay their bills through June. And then, come July, they scratching their head on how to survive. Who knows? But as of right now, they can't come to an agreement about how much more they're going to raise the debt. It's just about getting an increased spending limit on your credit card. For those of us with credit cards, and they ask you, do you want to increase your limit? See if you qualify. And they actually give you all your information. Next thing you know, they coming up and they saying, "Oh yeah, okay, you qualify for an increase," and then they go ahead and give you some more money. That's pretty much what's going on. So they're hoping that they can get a little debt increase so they can get some more money to pay their bills, and we'll see what happens. But as of right now, they're walking out. So America might go broke in the near future. Do the history about Rome. See what happened. What made them collapse? Finances played a heavy role in it. Finances played a heavy role in it. Matter of fact, I'll talk about that in the future. I know I got a lot going on. Saying I'm gonna talk about this. Daniel 7. I remember that. The weed class. I got to remember that one. And then talk about the collapse of America. That's those three I got coming up for y'all. All right, most high willing. Let's continue. The world watches in disbelief and horror as the U.S. nears possible default. Look, all eyes is on America. Why? The whole world is watching to see what happens. Because America is Babylon. Revelation 18:3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. So the merchants in all the earth is watching because they're getting ready to realize that their money is going to be jeopardized because America can't continue on in the same fashion of supporting imports, exports, or whatnot. The world reserve currency is based around the dollar. So many of the currencies around the world are relying upon and backed upon the dollar's strength. If the dollar continues to default, have issues, America defaults on its economy, what's that going to mean for the rest of the world who's been living deliciously off of the spoiled poisonous milk of the tit of the whore? What are they going to do? So all the world is watching with bated breath on what's going to happen within the next 10 days or 11 days. Make it 12 days. That'll be June 1st. Not to say that everything's going to collapse and crumble on June 1st. Like I said, I'm pretty sure America just don't have, by the May 31st, the balance will go down to zero and they got nothing. She basically is trying to pump it up and say, look, if we don't get something done by June 1st, we're going to go broke, meaning what's left in the tank is probably going to cover us through June and July, where we got to start cutting the fat. But the world is all watching with bated breath because it's going to affect world economy. 5 oil producing nations asked to join the BRICS. So here you're seeing more nations see what's going on with America, and they're saying, well, our best thing is to jump out of this damn plane of America, pull the parachute, and we're going to go over here with this BRICS alliance where we can have some value be established for what we bring to the table. So here you got oil producing nations that America used to be able to have negotiations and allegiances with. They're bailing out on America saying, no, we're cool. Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, which is the UAE, Algeria, Egypt, and Bahrain, and Iran have formally asked to join the BRICS group of nations. BRICS will hold its annual summit in Cape Town during the first week of June. BRICS is expected to soon surpass the U.S.-led G7 states' economic growth expectations. So that's their coalition. The U.S.-led G7, that's what Slow Biden just went to over there in Hiroshima, and they was talking about, the economy, dealing with the war and everything else. Now, the other side of world dominant control, or the upstart, trying to establish their quote-unquote new world order, so to speak, which ain't really going to be, that, because it's not being led by the damn beast and the great whore. America still runs the show. But they're trying to separate and create a divide to where this will cause economic warfare and eventually world warfare, physical. So we know the oil is one of the top means of economic survival and sustenance the world can offer. You got 5 nations now are all saying we're going to take our resources to this BRICS alliance and get this new economy going. The hell with the dollar. So America's in trouble. Battered by inflation, 90 million Americans are struggling to pay their bills as credit card usage spikes. So we're seeing everybody, people still running around balling, living, and acting like carefree. But the reality is that a lot of people are utilizing credit cards to survive. I think the statistic said that at least 60%, might be more than that now, are people living check to check and don't have $500 of savings going on. I mean, people, many of us and people in this world, man, is in trouble, especially in America, especially the so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics. Most of our people have no idea what's going on, man. All they're expecting is for that EBT balance to continually get refilled up every month. All they expecting is for the CCR, not CCRC. What is it? Yes, it's a CCRC. They get the free milk and all of that. WIC, no WIC. So like WIC benefits. They get get the milk and the cereal and everything. They just expecting that. They just expecting a Section 8, money to go through. And that's a whole nother thing. Maybe one of my next DSTMs, I got to show about the Section 8. Somebody sent me a video about the corruption of Section 8. And it's foul. They got millions of dollars sitting up in Section 8, man. It's already set up to where people that are sitting on Section 8 lists for years on end, once they finally get their grants for it, most of the owners now are turning down Section 8 and people can't even utilize their grants. So even those things are changing up. A lot of our people don't know and have their confidence in America that, oh, they'll figure it out. They won't let us they won't let us starve. They won't let us die. Look at America's history, man. You think they give a damn about people, especially our people? A large swath of American consumers are facing financial hardships as they grapple with elevated living costs, record high credit card use, and 2 years of negative real wage growth. So the wages aren't increasing, but the cost of living is. The wages aren't increasing, but the cost of food is. The wages aren't increasing, but the interest rates on your homes, mortgages, uh, car notes, credit card, all that's going up. But you ain't making the money in order to balance it out. That's the deal with inflation. That's the deal with them raising debt ceiling limits and all of that. Our people, man, we're gonna really get hit hard. A lot of our people's already living like this, maxing out one credit card, and guess what? The white man ain't gonna stop sending you them damn applications in the mail, saying, "Here, get another one," and we be shaking the dice. Like, I'm gonna just get this. Man, I just got a card in the mail for Visa. Oh, Mastercard. They said I can get. I done already maxed out my Discover. Well, let me go and get some more money this way. Eventually, something to turn around. I covered a story a couple weeks ago. They said bankruptcies, the second round bankruptcies at our all-time high. So people that already filed once are back filing again. Repossessions is up. A large swath of American consumers facing financial hardship. This is a perfect storm. I read that part. I'm dropping down. This perfect storm could decimate financially fragile households in the next downturn. As many as 89.1 million American adults, or about 38.5%, were found to experience some form of difficulty in covering expenses from April 26th and May 8th, according to Bloomberg. So, the financial hardships is hitting everybody, man. Hopefully everybody is being sustained by the Lord and, got the wisdom and the knowledge, man, to remain sustained because layoffs are still around the corner. Me and the brother were just talking last night about his job laying off, and which is so ironic because he said they was just hiring. Now they laying off. I'm hearing from other people, man, positions are being relieved at their jobs, so it's closing in now. They hit the tech sector. They're going down to the service industry. They're getting ready to try to hit everything. We already seen last week, they said AI is going to be replacing many of these jobs. So it's going to be very interesting, man, moving forward. So stay locked in to the Spirit, man, and serving the Most High, because He's the only way that we're going to survive and be sustained. The Most High said He makes rich and He makes poor. Let's look at that in First Samuel. It's First Samuel 2:6. Let's see. Yeah, look at this. First Samuel 2. Let's read verse 7. We'll get right to the point. The Lord maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up. He raiseth up the poor out of the dust and lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among princes and to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are Yahweh's, and he hath set the world upon them. So the only people in place that's going to be able to survive themselves is us being servants of the Most High, man, fearing him, keeping the commandments, keeping the faith of Yahweh Shai, because otherwise, man, we can get caught up in this whirlwind of financial hardships and destruction, and really going to be out there on this dog eat dog world that's going to be set before us. It's going to be very, very interesting in the coming times, because it's prophesied, you know. But the only thing that's going to sustain us is the Most High, you know. So we have to do our obligation, man, to continually serve him, fear him, and do what it takes for him to protect us. And some of us, even in that, the Most High said, you still may be a martyr. You still may be an example. You could be doing everything right. Look, ask Job, and still get hit. So we don't know. But we do see the storm coming, the avalanche is rolling. There ain't no stopping this thing. Let's continue. Home Depot sees its first annual sales decline in more than a decade as Housing Street EBB's rate jump. So Home Depot, they're having a sales decline because why? The housing market is down. People aren't building. I mean, people aren't, these homes that are getting built, they're getting shut down because the buyers aren't there right now. The interest rates is too high. Qualifications to get new homes is too high. The scarcities on properties that's available right now, you know. So real estate is suffering. And one of the biggest sales of real estate right now, they're having issues with that because um, Home Depot. And we can clearly see that they're having struggles with their sales. First time they've had a decline in over a decade. So that should let us know something. All right, let's continue. Blackout threats emerge as the power grid faces a stressful summer. So here we go again. Um, Looking at blackouts and the power grid being threatened. Last year had the same thing. This year, the same thing's going on. It's only letting us know. Hold on one second, y'all. My bad, y'all. So they're talking about blackouts. So let me hip you out of this. Um, we'll read this and then I'm gonna just give you another example real quick. The nation's power grid is in a precarious shape, heading into what could be an especially hot summer, according to the regulatory authority that monitors the electricity system, with much of the country at risk for outages if it experiences scorching weather. Scientists say it looks increasingly likely. While the seasonal electricity forecast is more optimistic than it was last year, when much of the Midwest and Southeast was so short of power that the regions were on high alert for energy emergencies. It points to an unnerving summer ahead. The report comes as scientists are tracking a developing El Nino weather pattern that threatens to cause temperatures to spike and big storms to form in the coming months. Reading on down here, quote, the system is close to the edge, said John Moore, director of the Reliability Assessment and Performance Analysis at NERC. More needs to be done to bolster the system's resilience. So, we're being warned that possible blackout threats and a power grid having difficulty sustaining the grid this summer could be upon us. I'm going to share some with y'all real quick. Give me 1 second. All right, I typically don't do this because I don't like sharing what I got on this thing. But I want to help my brothers and sisters out there, man. You know, Brother Aladai usually gives y'all information and examples of things to invest in. The only reason why I'm showing y'all this is one of my, as I said, one of my little power backup generators or whatnot. This is called a Bi-Beam. Portable power station. It's solar. You can use it for solar or you can use it for electric. My suggestion is if you have one, you get one, make sure you have it fully charged so that in the event that you have an emergency, you can utilize it. You got four USB ports, so it'll plug in anything that needs USB for charging. You also have electrical outlets over here. Doesn't have the three-prong one. I do have one that you can use a three-prong for greater power electricity. This powers like 500 watts. It also can get charged from a car battery. So you can plug it in your car. You can charge it that way. It's got the DC and the AC chargers or whatnot. Long story short, it's a good small little backup. You can see on mine's. It's 99 fully charged. Depending on what you plug in, and to tell you how many hours it'll charge it. But it's good. You can get yourself like they got USB lights, and I'm giving y'all this example because in the last 2 weeks, we've had on my block, in my area, we had 2 blackouts. And I think that was because they were doing some work supposedly on the street. They didn't give us fair warning ahead of time. All we know is this power just went out. And it was down for a few hours. Now that one's only 500 watts, but I got a couple other ones. Something like that's not going to power your refrigerator. It's not going to power, depending on the site, it's probably not going to power your TV and all the other stuff. But things that you need, your computer, your phone. If you get some USB lights, you can plug them in, hang them up around, have lighting, recharge your phones, those type of things. Smaller generators like that. That's what that's for. You can get bigger ones that have more capacity, more power, more wattage. They're more expensive. Those are necessary, but I'm only sharing that because I just experienced 2 blackouts back-to-back weeks, and I had those. I had my thing. We was good, no problems, no real stress or whatnot. It was all good. Well, we was prepared, but we know here, white men are saying, get ready. Possible blackouts is on the way. That's just something that maybe y'all might want to think about investing in, just to make sure that you've got some sort of power. So in the event that your electricity goes out, you can also hook it up to some solar panels, put them out during the day, charge them up. So when the nighttime hits, you got power at night to utilize in your homes when you need some light. I first time that happened, maybe about a year or two ago, I went outside. I wanted to see, who had some lights on, who was prepared. About 95% of my street, nobody had lights. We had lights on, man. I told my kids, man, turn that off because I don't want nobody knowing we got lights. Because that's how you see these maniacs coming in. What? Knocking on your door. You got lights? What's going on? How you guys got lights? Can we come in? We want to be. No. So those are the things that we face, man. Yeah, hopefully y'all are even considering those things. If not, you need to. Those are all things that's happening, man. White man's telling you the system is close to the edge. The worst thing that can happen is the power grid go down. At that point, all bets is off. You're back to the Stone Ages, man. Going out trying to collect some wood, lighting some fire to stay warm, all the other stuff. So just consider those, man. That's just one that I wanted to share with y'all. I shared it a while back. I just wanted to revisit it because recently I had two blackouts back-to-back weeks. One, they didn't say nothing, and then I had to go out that night. So I ended up leaving. I seen them working on the streets, so they must have turned it off for that. The next time, after the power was already out, then I get a text from my internet company, and they were saying, "Oh, we had to turn the power out. We expect to be up in about 2 hours or something like that." So who knows if this is grid related or if it was just some sort of fixtures that they needed to do. I don't know, but either way, it can happen at any time. So it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Let's get back to it. TSA is testing facial recognition at more airports, raising privacy concerns. Well, guess what? The TSA got initiated because of the 9/11 and the Patriot Act and them heightening security and them being more invasive about where and what you can and can't bring aboard and where you're going and all of those intrusive questions and the pat downs and the radiation scanners that you got to go through, all of those things that we've seen in movies like uh, Total Recall. If y'all seen the original one with Schwarzenegger when he was going through the airport and he had to go through the scanner, and it was an X-ray scanner, and all you could see, it scanned everything. You just seen his skeletal frame. They they got them things now at the airports now. You go to them airports and they tell you standing there and don't move, and the thing swirl around. Woo woo. That's what they got now. Then if you look at Minority Report, that movie, well, how was they trying to track down Tom Cruise? It was facial recognition technology, even down to the point to where it was done through the iris, where they recognize you by your eyes and the eye scanners. And he had to swap eyeballs out with somebody, utilizing somebody else's eyeball. I mean, it was all kind of madness that was going on in there in order for him to stay covert and try to, I ain't gonna ruin it. Most of y'all may have seen Minority Report. If you haven't, go check it. But truth is stranger than fiction, man. And this is where we're going to now. They've already started implementing this stuff at the airports. I think one of the brothers, man, he just came back from out of town and said that they had utilized facial recognition for that. They're doing it at the DMV, your thumbprints, facial pictures and all that now. So leading into this digital ID system is happening. I showed y'all what the digital ID was going to surround around. If you missed it, let's look at it one more time. Let's see, is it down here? Here we go. In case you missed it, this is what they want to install upon everything. Is this the one? No. No, that's not the one. But this is still part of the system. So the trusted digital ID, these are all different ways and how the digital ID is going to be utilized. To extract your data, to verify you by ID, third-party service checks, to verify your address. It's going to be linked in with your biometrics, right? Liveness detection. And those around they surround around your head. They got these little arrows around there, whatever that's about. Supposedly trying to make it sound like it's health related. But they probably saying that they can mentally, got you locked in. All based around the web, web app, biometric readers, document readers. The ID system going to be doing all of that, right? But this ain't the one. I want the one from the World Economic Forum. Where is that? Let me put it up here. And what it's all going to be linked into. WEF Digital ID. Here it goes. So this digital ID, because this is what they're going to, the facial recognition is part of the biometrics. But this digital ID, substantiated by the World Economic Forum, this isn't some made up thing. This is the same ones that Klaus Schwab and Bill Gates and all of them is meeting about. This is what they want for the future. A digital ID, and it's not going to be on some little microchip that's got to get, shot up in you. It's already going to be built in a system that people are already accustomed to that won't reject it because everybody's addicted to it. Phones and technology. Look, the digital ID is going to be what? Digital. Financial services is going to be tagged to it. Opening bank accounts, carry out online financial transactions is all going to be set up through your digital ID. This is why they are trying to push for the central bank digital currency, the CBDC, because they need everybody locked in on one system. Notice all these small banks now are in trouble. They're all crashing in. They're being consolidated by bigger banks such as JP Morgan Chase. Once they have a centralized place where everything is flowing through one big bank, now it can all be locked in into one system. So food and sustainability, farmers and consumers to verify provenance of produce to enhance value and traceability in supply chains. travel and mobility, to book trips, to go to the border control between countries and regions. So this is all going to lock into your ability to travel. Forget about having passports, food sustainability, what you can and can't eat, what's environmentally safe to eat, this, that, and the third. All's going to be locked into that. Humanitarian response, to demonstrate qualifications to work in a foreign country, e-commerce, to shop, to conduct business transactions and secure payments. So knows how everything is going to be based upon e-commerce. Most things are going to be digitally based. Cash ain't going to be accepted no more. You notice how they did that with the pandemic and everybody at home. Amazon sales was boosted. Uh, DoorDash, Uber Eats, people got used to just sitting at home, ordering online through their phone, tapping the app, and saying, just deliver it to me. So they know that people are going to more be prone to sit home and get things delivered than to go out and shop anymore. So that means they can go ahead and start shutting down these businesses, shutting down and closing out these commercial real estate markets to make sure everybody's more comfortable sitting at home, utilizing e-commerce to do your business. How many people started online businesses over the pandemic? They got the stimulus checks, took that money, flipped it into a business. Now we're selling clothes, we're selling jewelry, we're selling perfumes and oils, we're selling, online courses on how to make, money off the market and everything else. Everything is being consolidated into that system to where everybody's comfortable now in creating revenue streams all based upon e-commerce. But now when they say you can't continue on your business unless you're in this digital ID system, i.e., you can't buy or sell without this, what are you going to do? You're going to close your business and say, I can't eat no more? And there's going to be other things that you're going to have to compromise in order to do it, which is going to be based around food and sustainability. Oh, no, your digital credits and all that, you can't buy nothing but swine and this, that, and the third anymore. Or you can buy these GMO crops or foods. This is the only thing that your credits are good for now. Are you going to be part of that system? All of these things is part of what's happening. Social platforms, everybody's addicted to the social media and everything else. Oh, well, guess what? You're going to have a digital ID in order to utilize your social media logins, your interactions. And before you know it, you're going to be chatting with Chat GPT and hanging out with AI bots anyway. 90% of the online activity is going to be AI based. So they're lining everybody up to be caught up in this digital system that ain't going to be real no more, i.e. the matrix. E-government, citizens to access and use services, file taxes, vote, collect benefits. So if you don't have this and you ain't filing your taxes through this, guess what? You're a fugitive now. You done evaded paying your taxes. That's a federal crime. Telecommunications, smart cities. I mean, come on, the list goes on and on. I don't have time to keep going over the rest of this. Y'all can check it out. Just look at the images. WEF, digital ID. Just like I did. Type it in, WEF, digital ID. Look under images. Look up this one, and you can just go over it. Or look up any of these examples, and it just kind of let you know where things is going. All right. But for time's sake, I'm gonna just keep it moving. So the TSA is going to facial recognition. So they're already talking about biometrics, which leads into what we just talked about. Digital IDs, your ability to travel, all of those things are starting to come through as we see manifesting in real time. A passenger walks up to an airport security checkpoint, slips an ID card into a slot, and looks into a camera atop a small screen. The screen flashes photo complete, and the person walks through, all without having to hand over their identification to the TSA officer sitting behind the screen. So that means that your picture, my picture, is going to get downloaded into this database. They're going to have all of us on file. Because see, then you wonder, well, how's facial recognition? How are they going to identify everybody? Everybody that's traveling is going to go through there. Everybody that needs to get a license is going to go through there. People that's going to be needing jobs sooner or later, they're going to have to utilize facial recognition in order to qualify for jobs. There's going to be one way or the other, they're going to have a system to where they can lock everybody's face into one system, one B system, Eagle Eye. If y'all ain't seen that movie, go watch that one. Everything's locked into this particular system voluntarily or because of the fact that people need services will do this. And next thing you know, we're all locked into this system. Then we just seen is it BlackRock? Blackstone, the company that bought Ancestry.com, they got all the DNA of everybody that submitted their DNA in there. You know, it goes deep. It goes deep. So, you know, this is what we're seeing. But for time's sake, I'm gonna start blowing through some of these. All right. AI powered bots are taking over the internet and mimicking human behavior. So there you have it. This is what's going on. I mean, you don't know. People, you know, comments is getting left on channels, is bots trying to provoke and talking crazy. You know, fake videos is out there, man. I mean, it's wild. These are part of the wonders that you know, we just read about in Revelation 13 that this beast is going to come through with. Bots are taking over the internet. A secretive annual meeting attended by the world's elite has AI at the top of their agenda. So this is what I was talking about earlier. The elites are meeting in secret. Now, this is a mainstream media news article. They're talking about the world's elite. Anytime we talk about the elites and secret societies and everything, oh, you tinfoil hat, you crazy conspiracy theory, that ain't going on, man. Stop talking about this secret people. What did you say? A secretive annual meeting amongst the world's elite. And they're talking about how they got AI at the top of their agenda because that's going to be the main driving force in the controlling the populations in this digital matrix that we all are caught up in. So they're meeting out there at the Bilderberg annual event. Look at it. The annual Bilderberg event is shrouded in mystery with discussions held behind closed doors and under Chatham House rules. So they have private meetings going on discussing about your future and mine and how they're going to control the world. And they're talking about you, the top of their list is talking about you utilizing tech to do it right now. So that's going on behind closed doors. The secret councils of the wicked. The World Cup 2026 fans are told don't travel to the U.S. over mass shootings and killing sprees. So America now is not a place of desire to travel anymore. With the biggest world event, sports world event, World Cup 2026 is supposed to be held in America, I'm assuming. And they're being put out and told 2 years in advance, don't go. America is not safe. Mass shootings and killing sprees. Now, that's a bit exaggerated, but we do know that there's been mass shootings. Look, 226 this year alone, and we're only in May. 226 mass shootings. And the other nations are saying, oh, hell no. America is a death trap. We're not going. So that shows you that the luster of America is fading away. The nations are losing their confidence in America. They don't want no parts of it. All right, let's go. Look at this. Stained glass window shows Jesus Christ with dark skin stirring questions about race in New England. This is very interesting and a good find too. I made mention of it last night in a class in regards to, you know, archaeology, artwork, and things of that nature, revealing the truth about who we are and revealing the truth about the Bible. This is in Rhode Island. A nearly 150-year-old stained glass church window that depicts a dark-skinned Jesus Christ interacting with women in the New Testament scenes has stirred up questions about race, Rhode Island's role in the slave trade, and the place of women in 19th century New England society. The window installed at the long-closed St. Mark's Episcopal Church in Warren in 1878. 1878, this stained glass picture has been sustained since then. And it was a picture of Mary, Martha, and Christ, all dark-skinned, on a big stained glass window at this Episcopalian church in Rhode Island. Now, Rhode Island ain't heavily populated with, it's mostly white folks over there, but there is 10 tribes in Southern Kingdom over there. I got family there, so I know. You got, you know, it's Jake over there, but the main populace is Esau. Now, why would this particular church and this predominantly white state have black depictions of Mary and Martha? That's why they're over there scratching their head saying they're bringing in questions about race now. The truth can't be held back, man. The scriptures say, man, that the earth is going to help the women. Look at it. So this window is unique and highly unusual, said Virginia Ragoon, a professor of humanities emerita at the College of the Holy Cross in Worcester, Massachusetts, and an expert on the history of stained glass art. I have never seen this iconography for that time. Yeah, because that was post Renaissance. After the 15th century, they was already changing all of the artworks of Christ and the disciples and the holy figures of the Bible into being white. So by 1878, they was expecting everything else to be white, but the Most High preserved this one. Over 150 years, this has remained untouched. Now the church was condemned and nobody was dealing with it. This lady bought it and was going to renovate it to live in. And as they were renovating, they found the stained glass, and that's what brought it to the attention of these experts going in there to go see it. Now, what's so funny is these all these experts about stained glass and holy figures and holy art and all that never read Revelation 1:13-15, never read Daniel 10:5-6, never read Lamentations 4, never read Job 30:30, never read Song of Solomon 1-5, Exodus 4 with Moses. And now they're wondering and saying, wow, this is a dark-skinned Christ and Martha. What? Look at this. This is part of the article. The window made by the Henry E. Sharp Studio in New York had largely been forgotten until a few years ago when Hadley Arnold and her family bought the 4,000 square foot Greek Revival Church building, which opened in 1830 and closed in 2010 to convert into their home. So that's what I was talking about. She bought the church. They were going to make it a home. The church was made in 1830. The painting was done 1878, right? So 150 years this has been established. When 4 stained glass windows were removed in 2020 to be replaced with clear glass, Arnold took a closer look. It was a cold winter's day with the sunlight shining at just the right angle, and she was stunned by what she saw in one of them. The human figures had dark skin. The skin tones were nothing like the white Christ you usually see, said Arnold, who teaches architectural design in California after growing up in Rhode Island and earning an art history degree from Harvard University. So she's got a Harvard University art history degree. She teaches architectural design in California. She buys his home that used to be a church that has stained glass images of Christ, Mary, and Martha being black. She's stunned. And it's been there for 150 years. But look at this. This is how you see the media always flips it. But does it depict a black Jesus? So now, is it really Christ? Is it really black? I don't know. And look at what she says. Arnold doesn't feel comfortable using that term, preferring to say it depicts Christ as a person of color. Oh, yeah. Look, and when that comes in, probably Middle Eastern. You see how they always switch it? How they always throw in the line of deception? They cannot and will not accept the fact that Christ is a dark-skinned man, white woolly hair, so-called black man from the tribe of Judah. They don't want to do that. They always want to, beat around the bush and say, well, maybe he was Middle Eastern. Yeah, maybe if he's a person of color. I won't say he's black. I'm not bowing down to that. She says she's not comfortable using the term black Jesus, right? But she said he was a person. It looks like he was a person of color, probably Middle Eastern, which she says would make sense given where the Galilean Jewish preacher was from. Others think it's open to interpretation. Really? To me, being of African American and Native American heritage, I think that it could represent both people. Look how confused she is. This is another lady that went in and wanted to look at it and examine it. Linda Avant DeShini, the former executive director of the Rhode Island Black Heritage Society. She now runs the Roman Catholic Diocese at Providence's St. Martin de Porres Center, which provides services to older residents. So the fact that she's even Black and Native American, and she can't stand out and say, yeah, that's great. I finally see that, especially in Rhode Island, you should have some pride when you see something that shows historically that your people represented something great in a society where you was getting frowned upon. Like, why would you not embrace that? Why? Because now she's working for the Roman Catholic Diocese in Providence, St. Martin de Porres Center. She's compromised by the Catholic Church, and she says, well, maybe it's open to interpretation. Maybe he could represent both Black and Middle Eastern. Maybe, stop with the madness. Open up that book, and the book's going to tell you that this only confirms what our Lord and Savior really looked like and who he was. All right. So that's good archaeology. That's something else for everybody to look up. This was in I think I got this one off a AP article. But if you want to take this one and save it in your portfolio for your family and friends or whoever, you got something, you want to utilize it for your color scriptures and whatnot, just look up this title: Stained Glass Window Shows Jesus Christ with Dark Skin. You should be able to pull up various articles that show it from the LA Times, the CNN, all of them got it. But it's a good article to go and just have in your archives to show the true nature of what our people look like, okay, according to the scriptures. And that's here in America. We've got the traces that we have in Russia. We see it in Romania. We've seen them in Germany. We've seen them in France. We see all of these, various places around the world. Now we're even seeing archaeology and stained glass windows in this old church in America that's showing the same things that were found in Europe. All right. So this is a good one for y'all to hold on to. All right, let's continue on real quick. A24's Nazi drama Zone of Interest is a Cannes sensation with a 6-minute standing ovation. The Cannes Film Festival is where people go and debut their films and see if they can get funding, I believe, to get them put into greater theaters. Here's a Nazi drama called Zone of Interest. Got a 6-minute standing ovation. The crowd gave Glazer and his actors a warm embrace after depicting so much horror on the screen, showering them in a 6-minute standing ovation. The crowd especially roared for Sandra Huller, whose Queen of Auschwitz character is the film's most terrifying. After Glazer's short speech, the crowd cheered some more for about a minute. So they were loving this film, showing the horrors of the Auschwitz concentration camps. And the Holocaust of the GMO Jew, small hat Revelation 2 and 9 community, right? Of course, they always get celebrated, man. But I wonder if they did they include this in there to get that 6-minute ovation? The forgotten black victims of the Nazi era, the black people who died and survived during the Holocaust, Afro-Germans and black soldiers in the Holocaust. Did they include those in it? You think that they allowed that to be part of the narrative, or no? I don't think so. Look at it. Of the 75,000 commemorative stones dedicated to the victims of the Nazis, only 4 of them remember black people. Their experience of persecution was largely erased. So you think that film was getting a 6-minute ovation because they want to merge and show the death and the oppression and the black folks in the concentration camps too, the horrors of the black children that was over there getting abused and getting sent through the system. They got videos on all of this stuff on YouTube. If you haven't seen them, go check them out. There's articles all over the internet talking about it. See, that's why Amalek, man, they can't sit back and be. They always try to corner the market when it comes down to oppression. What happened to them? Oh, this is so bad. We need reparation. We're gonna give them the world and everything. Meanwhile, let's not forget our people is getting destroyed too and thrown in them camps too. And they're not making no mentions of those. The hypocrisy. Here's the future of America right here. Back to Rhode Island again. Rhode Island City Councilman busted with crack cocaine, pipe in hand. Police in the video say, "Look at it. This is America right here at its finest, man." City councilman, man, laid out, mouth wide open, man, doped up, crack pipe in one hand, man. The leaders of the city. This is it right here. Newly released body cam footage shows the Rhode Island police arrested a city councilman who was found sleeping in a car with cocaine and fentanyl. As the ruler of the city, what is it? The ruler hearken lies, all his people are wicked. The ruler of the city. What we read in Sirach 10? I don't want to misquote it. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. But what happened with Slow Biden's son? Isn't he on crack or was on crack? Right? Slow Biden's walking around like he is on dope. Now we see one of his officials right here knocked out on dope, man. Fentanyl, crack in one hand, man. He's out of here. Farmers set to abandon U.S. wheat crops at its highest rate in 1917. So they're talking about the farmers of the wheat were only able to harvest 67% of their planted acres. They got to abandon all the rest of their crops. The drought has pretty much ruined many of their economic structures, man. So, excuse me, we'll see a shortened wheat. Reading down here, it says we'll see short wheat, thin stands, some wheat that looks really good, and a lot of fields that aren't going to be harvested. So that could mean a scarcity in wheat this coming year, which all goes back to Revelation 6, where it's talking about that a measure of wheat would be for a penny, dealing with the famine. America's plains, in America, the plains area in the Midwest is one of, I think it's second biggest wheat producers in the world next to Ukraine. You know, when we was going through the issues with the war, and they were saying Ukraine was the breadbasket of the world. The war was affecting the import and exports of the wheat and whatnot. America is the second largest. That's why it didn't affect us as bad. You know, the Middle East and everybody else that was dependent upon the wheat, they got hit pretty bad with the shortages. America got it, but America started charging up higher because why? They had to keep funding this war. So we were paying more money for bread and everything else, even though much of it was getting produced here. But they're funding this war, so we're paying more money so that they can go send some more money over there. All right, but now they're saying that the drought's hidden and the crops now are coming up short. 2 women in New York diagnosed with the first U.S. cases of a highly contagious drug-resistant fungal infection that has reached epidemic proportions in South Asia. Notice how everything's always coming from Asia. The WHO just said that the DVOG 91, that's over with. So, of course, a new one's got to pop up now, and it's coming from Asia. 2 women in New York diagnosed with a highly contagious drug-resistant fungal infection. Scaly like rashes on their thighs and neck. It's over here now. Flesh-eating zombie drug Trank takes over LA streets as users with rotting skin are seen hunched over and spaced out across the city, while officials say they can't ban it because it's illegal. So when you see all the dope fiends, man, out here in a trance, their skin rotting away, they're getting eaten alive by taking this drug Trank. They're calling it the zombie drug. It's in LA now. It was in the East Coast. It's spreading all throughout the country, right? And it said it's legal because it's a tranquilizer for a veterinary tranquilizer that they use for cows and horses, and it's getting mixed up because if somebody goes and buys it or whatever, it's legal because you can buy it as a veterinarian as a medical tranquilizer. But on the streets, it's getting mixed with, I think it's heroin and fentanyl or something like that, and it's jacking people up. But that's a new drug. As America's got drug-free zones all over the place, letting people get high. Look at this. Cases of marijuana laced with fentanyl is increasing, says a Washington doctor. Well, we looked at the statistics before, right? 1 person dies every 8 minutes from fentanyl. And now you got everybody strung out on weed now because it's legal. And everybody, they're looking at their favorite rappers and entertainers and athletes. And everybody's pushing weed. And now they're starting to find fentanyl in this weed laced up. So don't be surprised when you start hearing about more fentanyl overdoses and more people dying from fentanyl because everybody loves them some weed, and now it's getting laced with fentanyl. People could be dying from that. And I'll include that in my weed class when I do it in the future. At least 8 dead, thousands evacuated as floods battered northern Italy. So Italy's getting hit with floods. So add that to the tsunami, add that to the earthquakes, right? Look at this madness. Is this Adidas Bud Light moment? The row over man modeling a woman's swimsuit continues as fans vow to boycott Woke companies out of existence amid calls to burn gazelles and protest. This is speaking great words against the Most High. I mean, here they go using some old. I got to get off of this page really fast. Some Hellenized, Negro over here, man, confused out of his mind. This is the new normal right here. All right, this is the new normal. Look at meet your SI swimsuit cover model Kim Petras. This is Sports Illustrated. This is a men's magazine geared towards men. Why do they have a transgender pop artist covering the new swimsuit model? I mean, I'm tired of showing this stuff, man, but I have to. This is the confusion that Babylon is now presenting. This is the new woman of the new age. I showed y'all the article where they said that the Bride magazine was the cross-dressing hairy, heathen that was dressed up in the East Indian garments, the Elamite garments. Remember that? That's the new bride. That's your new bride. Okay, this is your new swimsuit model. The coveted beauty is right here. I think Miss America. I think the woman that won Arizona was a tranny, but I think she went to Miss Universe. Something that didn't go down, but they're trying to push that. They're allowing the transgenders to come up into Miss Universe contest. I mean, RuPaul is still out here doing drag races all over the place, man. They infiltrated the schools. They've infiltrated the club and the bar scenes. They infiltrated entertainment. Now they're on front covers of men's magazines saying, "Look, this is real beauty. This is what you like, don't you?" This is a trend. This is a trend. Okay? This ain't no woman. Look, while Petra says she occasionally feels pressure to represent the transgender community, she's proud that fellow trans people are inspired by her and the work she does. I think what you do is the most important thing, not what your gender is. Petra says, no matter what your gender or sexuality or any of that stuff is, it's about what you make of life, and it's not, and it's about what's inside of you and all of that. So I hope that can be inspiring to other people. So here's the trendy nows on Men's Magazine, man, swimsuit edition. And if you don't like that, hey, they had Martha Stewart on there, man. So Martha Stewart, those 70+0, there's no in betweens. You can either have this old little white broad man who's burnt out, or you can go ahead and have this tranny, man. Which one do you want? Give me the bucket. I'll take that. Throw it up. Look at this. Target's tuck-friendly swimwear for kids spark outcry. Back to Target. I showed y'all when they had Target had the little trans rainbow section now for the kids and everything else, man. Now they got quote unquote tuck-friendly swimwear for kids. I mean, how are they even advertising that for little boys to buy a little swimsuit so they can tuck their genitals, man? Extra crouch coverage, as they're calling it. I mean, this is disgusting, man. And as they sit back and are in denial, saying nobody's targeting the kids, leave the kids alone. They haven't made a choice yet. Leave it open for them. But you're not making a choice. But here you are shoving these things in their faces, telling them, choose this, choose this, choose this, changing laws and everything else. Have some pride. You dig what I'm saying? I mean, this is out of control. So any question if we're in spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah, you better believe it. There ain't no other nation on the earth, man, who's doing this type of stuff. But here, spiritual Sodom, Revelation 11 and 8. And with that, I think we're all thoroughly disgusted at what we just witnessed, man. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable, man. This place has got to burn. This place has got to go down, man. I mean, the survival of America, man, is hinging upon the awakening of the children of Israel. The sealing of the elect, the 1/3, man, has to go down. And it's happening as we see. This is why we're seeing all these things unfolding and we're seeing all these things transpire, is because the children of Israel are being selected, elected, and are being sealed with the spirit of the Lord, man. And the nations now are starting to feel the repercussions. The earth is starting to see the repercussions of it. America is seeing the repercussions of it. And it's all leading towards our deliverance, man. We got to stay the course. We got to stay the course, man. We got to stay locked in. We got to continue on and do things that's pleasing to the Most High, which is fearing Him and keeping His commandments, right? So everybody, soak in what we went through today, man. Something in this PowerPoint today, as the issues I was having earlier, Satan didn't want out. He didn't want this information out today, man. So something of importance is on here, and it's all good. All right. So shout out to Raina Yash. She's in the house, man. Shalom to you, sis, man. Y'all, shalom to you. All right. What's going on, my good brother? Brother Jackson, man. Shalom to you, man. The Shire down there in Tennessee, man. Shalom to you, brother. Who else we got, man? Joshua in the house, man. Shalom to you. I got it. I missed you, man. Bayan, what's up, my good brother? How was Shy in the house, man? Shalom, Karnan. What's up, man? Hopefully you still on, man. Elder Rashaf out here, man. Shalom, shalom. Barbara in the house, shalom. Anybody else I missed, man? Prayerfully, man, y'all are well, man, and continually tune in, man. DSTM episode 209 is signing out, man. Your brother's out of here, man. Don't forget, coming up in a couple of weeks, Pentecost will be upon us. First fruits will be upon us, man. Mandatory feast for the men of Israel. So be prepared for that as we're lining up our preparation for that coming up soon. All praise to the Most High for that, man. A lot happening out there, man. So Lord willing, I'll be back with some more information for y'all, man, next week. And we'll get to it. All right. So y'all be well, man. Have a blessed rest of your evening. If your Sabbath is over, if it's not, enjoy the rest of your Shabbat. And that's it for me, man. Fear the Most High. Keep the commandments. Don't shoot your messenger. Shalom.